Hey, good
Joe, what's going
morning.
on, man?
Hey, how are you? Uh,
I
you
am
don't
good.
look like you're at
I'm
your
good.
house in Minnesota.
Well, I got this new green screen, and I figured I'd give it a run for its money this morning, test it out, see how I like it. It's I call it the British Virgin Islands.
That's nice. It looks exactly like the British Virgin Islands. That's a great green screen.
It's a dead ringer for a background, man. I'm enjoying it. My
Well,
apologies to everybody in advance. I think the transmission might be a little clunky this morning, but we'll see if it catches up. It seemed in the testing, it seemed like it took a second to catch up, and then was cool.
yeah, there is a little bit of a delay between what we're saying and what you can hear, but we're going to try it and see what happens. I mean, the people are here. It's Proper Cup of Joe. I'm Joe, and this is Adam. Adam has a whole bunch of snakes, and I got a lot of questions. I don't have any, so I got a lot of questions. That's the premise of the show. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping in and listening. But
Yeah,
usually we
man.
don't, usually, and Adam is taking some time out of his week to his vacation to enjoy us on a Thursday morning. We're just waking up here.
Yeah, I took a little time out. I made I took a time out of my busy day of doing nothing. I've decided the secret to travel is to not have any plans. When you have no
Oh, is
plans,
that right?
that's when the excitement happens, man. The variables come out. Yeah, you find the magic, man. Little bodegas in the Dominican Republic. I'm supposed to go find a bakery this morning. There's a local bakery of legend that we're going to go have breakfast at.
Oh, nice. That sounds great. That sounds great. Where did you pick that up? Like, how did you hear about that?
Oh, just random conversations. Like somebody overheard me saying, like, I want to. Uh, I was in the mood to like. I really only like sweets like in the morning. I don't know why. I'm not really a big dessert guy, but like a good almond croissant with some chocolate drizzle or something, that'd be great with some coffee. And then somebody on the ship was like, "Oh, you have to go check this place out because there's like all these different memes of people on a cruise ship. There's like people that are like turbo cruisers. They know everything. They've been here a dozen times. They'll tell you everything you need to know.
Now, have you done the thing on the cruise where you've just lost all sense of what is right and good and just started eating and drinking everything that you see everywhere? Or because that's how I handle cruises.
It's called Free at Sea, and that's the alcohol package. So you're gonna want that, and then you get into these rhythms of you're like, all right, I'm gonna go get a quiche from over there and a croissant from there, and whatever it might be. Um, but yeah, it's not reality. It's not like you say. I wouldn't say I've lost my decency though. That's a little much, Joe.
I didn't say decency. It's debaucherous. These cruises, they're a little debaucherous and they're fun. Have you now? Interesting. I usually dance a lot on cruises, and
Oh,
I know that you are not particularly a dancer. Have you danced?
that'd be correct. I'm not much of a dancer. I've both I've both been told this, and I also embrace that I'm not much of a dancer. I feel that and I hear that, so I've eliminated dancing from my life.
The first cruise I went on, and my mom tells the story. The first cruise I went on was my mom, and I was older. I was like 30, and I went with my mom and her husband, my stepdad, and then I went with my sister. So it was the four of us. And the first night, I guess I went on the dance floor, and I danced a whole bunch. And my mom tells the story that for the rest of the cruise, people would see me and go, "That's the guy who was dancing that first night we were on the cruise." So I must
Uh,
spectacle of myself.
you don't ever want to be that guy on of any kind on a cruise. You don't want to be like the guy that slipped and fell. You don't want to be the smelly guy. You don't want to be you don't want to be any of the guys.
It was people were saying hi to me like I was a celebrity. It was crazy.
Well, there could be some benefits to that, I guess. You could,
There was some
do the
benefits
point.
actually. It was really
Yeah,
fun.
you point as you wave and all of that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Joe's got the Riz,
The the other place that I really kind of camp out at is on these cruises is if there's a piano bar. I like to go to the
Oh yeah,
piano bar and really sing it up too. Really, that's a lot of fun.
yeah. They had a Prince tribute show, which was cool, but it was really like musical theater cruisy, So it was like one
Sure, yeah.
singer and nine dancers, doing all kinds of dancey stuff. Um, but then last night was a Fleetwood Mac tribute. They played the Rumors album cover to cover live,
Nice.
and that was more just like a straight up concert. And yeah, the guitarist was fantastic, man. He crushed it. Some of those. The electric work is pretty fun and poppy, but the acoustic work on that album is really really complicated. He did a great job on that.
Yeah, right. Cool. I'm glad it sounds like you're having a good time and having fun.
Yeah, we're having a good time. We're here with Kelly's family, so there's 9 of us, man, and like group dynamics are always difficult for me. So like when's everybody having dinner? Where's everybody going? There's me, Kelly, and Charlie in the same like cabin, and these aren't like spacious cabins. We do have a balcony, but they're not like spacious cabins. So there's a little bit of like time to myself that I'm missing. But overall, if I were to complain, which would be stupid of me to do in such a situation, that would be my only like finding a little bit of alone time. But I'll tell you, one little hack to get some alone time is just start a live podcast in a public space and everybody flees. They're gone. They've left.
They don't like to hear this.
They're only getting one side of the story here this
morning. Yeah, right. Well,
yeah.
that's cool. I mean, we're catching up here. We also do our one thing. I mean, is this your one thing, or is there something else that happened to you that you're thinking about?
Let me dive just a little bit deeper into the one thing.
Okay.
I mentioned it earlier a little bit of like just not having a plan when you go somewhere. We got to Dominican Republic, and there's like the cruise ship area and the tourist area, and I was like, man, I didn't travel this far to just come have some like Disney World experience. So I left like the compound. I just hit the road, and I had no idea what I would run into, and what I ran into was just really cool stuff. I had grilled pork from a guy that was grilling on the street at a little bodega. Took a little taxi ride on a moped, which is death defying choice that maybe you shouldn't make. But I just walked and I just experienced, and I drank a local beer with the food as I walked, and it was 79 Dominican pesos. I have no idea how much money. I think it's like $1.20, man. You can just buy a beer and stroll. And I just really enjoyed getting past like the plastic show. Like, this is all really nice, but like, sorry, it just got a little windy. This is all really nice and nothing to complain about, but like, to experience and understand and see other people and other cultures, really really cool, just to get past, like I say, like the compound gates.
Yeah.
So go explore is what I'm saying. Stay curious.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing that happened on a cruise that
Did
I
I
went
lose you
on.
on my connection?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. We're good. You may have lost me, but this is
Okay, cool.
one of the things that happened to me on the cruises. We did that. I was with Chelsea. That was like my second cruise, and we went out and It was I think it was Cozumel, and we did the same thing. And we went outside kind of the compound area, and we were in town, and we were walking around, and we just like went from place to place, and it was great. That was like my favorite day. It was the best. It was the best kind of excursion. Definitely, is just to explore on our own. And we explored so much. I remember we got some tequila, and we got some we got some beers, and they were in like the beers were in these buckets. I remember we were drinking these beers at this place in these buckets, and we heard the horn go off for the for for the cruise. So it was like, hey, the
Like the
horn.
all aboard, like you better get
Yeah,
here.
yes, and we had to leave our giant buckets of beer and run. I guess we had lost track of time, and we had to run as fast as we could to make sure. And then we were also with her parents on that one. So and her parents said, they were calling your name and everything on the cruise to make sure
Oh
that you were
wow,
on. Yeah. We almost got stuck in Cozumel because we were exploring a little too much.
a little too much. Yeah. So
Hmm.
we're only here today. Like we got here at 6 a.m. this morning in the dock. Like I'm still on the boat, but we got at the dock at 6 a.m. and then uh, we have to pull out of here at 2 o'clock today is when we leave. So this is just a lunchtime, good morning kind of quick pit stop, and then we're back off the sea. So we're gonna go find this pastry bakery and have a little breakfast and coffee.
That sounds great. Love that kind of stuff. It's great, and it's you and it's you and Kelly and Charlie.
Me, Kelly, and Charlie. No, just me and Kelly. Charlie wants to sleep in. He's not much of a 6 a.m. go find coffee kind of guy. So
Okay,
he's
nice,
going to
nice.
sleep. Yeah. And then we're going to, yeah, like I say, we're going to go hit the town. Just Kelly and I, we're going to break away. I'm sorry if I look distracted. There is a little bit of rain and some threatening clouds. So if they open up, I might have to pull the quickly, but I think I'm doing
Yeah,
okay.
sure. No problem.
I'm
It looks
I'm
beautiful behind you, actually. You should go farther back because it looks like it's clear skies back there.
right. Yeah, I need to go that way. Right. Yeah, it's yeah. There's the dark clouds behind the little weather station or whatever that thing is,
Yeah.
Doppler
Oh,
radar that
yeah.
might be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, you want to get to our new favorite segment?
Well, I have my one thing. I want to because
My apologies. I've been selfish today.
yeah, because you're on a cruise. That's how you should be when you're on a cruise. Is you should be selfish. Uh, they so you we this is what I was thinking. So you started a new segment a couple of weeks ago about the best, the coolest snake ball python in the world, and so we're going to get to that definitely. But I also think what would
Right.
be cool to start a new
Right.
segment. What are the records behind Joe? So it's gonna not an official segment, but I think it's a nice little Easter egg every week for people to look and go, "What's Joe listening to this week on the board?" What do you think of that?
Right.
No? Yeah? No? Yeah?
I like it. Maybe we can. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do, Joe.
Oh,
Here.
oh, there you go.
Oh,
There you
there we go. All right. So we got what we got back. We got a little. You got a little Miles Davis back there. Uh,
It's close.
I think
You don't have to
I
guess.
can't
I just
quite
thought
see
it was.
the top
Yeah.
and the middle.
All right, you're breaking up a little bit here, Adam.
Ones though. What are you listening to this week, man?
I'm listening to that's John Coltrane, John Lee Hooker, and the middle one is Matt Pond. But I just thought it would be a fun little part of the show, or not part of the show, but something that if people were on the, you can't see it
Yeah,
if you're
yeah, I'm getting lost
on
in
the
the transmission, man.
you can't see it if you're on the phone, but if you're on the screen, you can see it. You can see oh, what's Joe listening to? I just thought that would be kind of fun. But let's get to the actual segment, which is the coolest ball python in the world. Do you want me to bring that up now, or do you want? Are you good to talk about that?
Yeah, we should remind everybody that it's coming to them from Heart of the Python. That's Bill and Kate Peaver out in Massachusetts, breeding some high quality ball pythons, man. Sunset Monarch, Monsoon Projects, family operated, and my best to them. They support us every week. And my apologies, guys. The cruise ship has YouTube blocked. I can't go there with the Wi-Fi package I have. So in the description, I will update once I get to land, but I can't update Heart of the Python's information down in the description. But it will be there. Go check out Heart of the Python. And they also have a line where they breed for temperament on TikTok. Not TikTok. Yeah, TikTok, called the Heart Line. So check out Heart of the Python. Thanks for the support. You know, they probably took care of a couple beverages on the boat for me this week, which is really nice. That's very cool with their support. That I'm able to get away a little bit. Check out Husbandry Pro and Cold Blooded Cafe. You see the promos there that you can get yourself some a free trial period and free shipping on if you use the promo code Proper11 and spend over $200 with Cold Blooded Cafe. April will be 2 years that I've been working with Husbandry Pro, and it just passed 4 years working with Cold Blooded Cafe. Go support these companies. They are people within our industry supporting our industry. Joe, can you bring up this week's? Maybe my connection's lagging.
Let's do it. Oh, you did. You brought it up.
There it is. Did you get it? I did it. I did it all. So check this out, man. Let me see. I got the notes right there on the screen. This one comes from Mantooth Captive Bred Reptiles, MCBR, as you can see right there on the screen. In some ways, this thing needs no explanation. Like, I'm not even going to look at the genes just yet. The oranges, the purples, the blacks. I'm loving the swirled pattern. It almost is looking like a bowling ball, you know what I mean, with those cool swirls. Really high contrast, which I love. And somehow, even with all the chaos, that one looks really clean with like defined areas of dark and light. So this is a spot nose, super orange stream, yellow belly, black pastel. And on top of it, it's het clown. But the only things that we're seeing are all recessive, are all dominant traits. Like, we get so caught up in making these layers of recessives that are so complicated. These visual results from dominance are still just out there waiting to be done. I think it's a fantastic snake as it is. And I think it's a fantastic snake for the breeding powers that it's going to have. So all the babies will always have orange stream. You can put this to, you can breed this to a visual clown and get the clown version of this minus the super orange stream portion. You would only get the orange stream. You couldn't pass on the super. What great opportunity with this. You could mix this into highway projects because of the yellow belly in there. I think this is fantastic. I think it's a really cool snake. And congratulations, Mantooth Captive Bred Reptiles. I can't wait to see what they are doing here. And yes, technically incomplete dominance. I like to call them non-recessives. I don't choose to get into the syntax argument of this. These are genes that pass on with one copy, not two copies. How about that? So I really enjoy this. Sorry, Troy, I just saw what cruise ship. I'm on the Norwegian Cruise Lines Aqua. This is the Aqua that I'm sailing on. We say sailing, but there's no actual sails here. Joe, what do you think of this ball python, man? What's doing it for you or not?
It's great. I really like this one, and it makes me want to rethink my last few ratings that I put on for the other ball pythons that have been up in this segment. This is a beautiful creature. It's really
When,
fantastic. I mean, what's up?
when you say you want to rethink your previous, do you feel like you need to downgrade them? Like this has raised the bar of what two hats would bring?
I think this is raising the bar a little bit. Yeah, I think this is raising the bar, and I think it's what you said. It's that's really high contrast of colors. It's just a great, and there's like a consistent pattern throughout the entire uh, body, which is really nice. I really like it. I think it's fantastic. The high contrast, the colors. I'm giving it two hats, but it really definitely it makes me rethink my last few ratings because I wish I could give this one three hats.
Let me ask you this: should we get into partial hats in the future now that we've learned that perhaps 0, 1, and 2 isn't enough? Should there be like 1.5 hats, or should we keep it simple
Yeah,
and you
I
just
think
have
we
to
could
get
do that.
tougher on the
I
curve?
think I think we could do that. I just
Okay.
need to. But I get a bit. So I get excited because this is not. It's not the world that I'm living in. You know what I mean? So I go. I see a, a nice looking snake, and I go, "Wow, that's really cool." But the more and more I get, the more discerning I will be. The more and more we do this type of thing. So yeah, but I think
It's like
half.
every week is a new perfect two hats, right?
Yes, this is the problem, or this is exactly what we wanted to do with this show is like introduce new people to ball pythons and reptiles and stuff. So this is an education for me, definitely for sure.
Excellent, man. Well, I really am excited to see what they do with this project, and if that's a male, just the follow up results could be really quick within a year. Um, and it is had clowns, so we should see a clown version of that at some point, which was just really I find it inspiring to see what people are doing with quote normal genes. Like none of those genes are wildly difficult to acquire or come by. They're in most people's collections, but that result is not in most people's collections because we are so distracted by all these other obsessive stuff to go after. That's very cool. I think. I think it is. Yeah. Troy brings up a good point that would be reasonably attainable too, which is a little bit of the funny part of our hobby and our trade that yeah, something that beautiful is really quite attainable to both acquire and put to work. So I think it's a fantastic animal myself.
Why is it affordable?
Well, because it's for all the reasons of sort of that I just outlined. It's not that difficult in theory to produce. It just happens to be that this breeder, Mantooth captive bred reptiles, took the time to come up with this particular combination. Now, when we say it wouldn't be that expensive, that we're still talking relative. It would probably still be a shocking price to somebody that was just like, "Hey, what's a ball python going to run me?" That would if I were selling that, I would list it starting. I wouldn't get it, but I would list it starting at around 1,000, and I'd come down and find the market from there. So it still is not a cheap snake, but as far as the power of its breeding potential, I probably would land somewhere between 500 and 1,000 to sell. I think, and I probably
Uh,
wouldn't let it go for less than that though either.
you mentioned something called the Highway Project. What the heck is that? What are you talking about with a Highway
Oh, there you
Project?
go. Okay. All right, let's really fry Joe's mind here for a minute. Uh, so there's a complex of genes that work together. Sometimes they work really well together, and sometimes they bang heads together. It's called the yellow belly complex. And now, if you breed a yellow belly to a yellow belly, 25% of the babies will be an all white snake, but it's not a pure white. It's sort of a little bit of a mushy gray snake, dirty sock, as we sometimes call it. But if you breed yellow belly to any of the other genes in the complex, you start to get these really cool combinations, one of which we call a highway. So if you breed yellow belly to gravel, you get a highway. If you breed yellow belly, as somebody will have to keep me honest, there's all these nicknames that are plays off of highways. So there's a highway, there's a freeway. I think somebody, I don't know, maybe somebody's made like a parkway or a I don't know. But anyway, there's all these different nicknames for these combos, but none of them make all white snakes. They make these really vivid, distorted patterns. And gravel is one of the genes that I love, and it's in this complex. So seeing things like this inspire me to go, hey, instead of yellow belly, what if I put gravel in there? Because gravel to gravel will never make a white snake. So I like substituting gravel in place of yellow belly. So there's yellow belly, there's gravel, there's asphalt that's in this group of genes. And there's 7 or 8 total genes in that complex. Maybe not 7 or 8, maybe 5 or 6. But anyway, the highway is very specifically to your question is yellow belly and gravel, which would, with those other genes on top of it, would make just really, really, really wild pattern snakes, and hopefully very bright, I think, as well.
Okay, I'm just reading, but the defining trait of a highway or freeway is that they have stripes on their back and that look just like stripes on a highway. Oh, okay, okay. All right, I
Yeah,
see, I
and,
see.
and you get sometimes you get passing lane stripes, the broken stripes, and sometimes you get a fully just straight line. I've got a super gravel pinstripe. It's just a straight line up the back. No passing on that snake.
Wow, that's really yeah, that's funny. And now this is great. I really like this new segment, and it's great to highlight some of the people that are doing good work in the industry. So maybe you never know. Maybe the next coolest ball python is going to be yours. So. So I'm kind of interested in our topic here. If you want to move into that, because you're doing exactly what our topic for today is all about. And I'm wondering, I have always known you as somebody who is nose to the grindstone type of guy, just somebody who's working, loving every minute of what he's doing because he's made the choices to make that his life. But every once in a while, you do have to kind of let go a little bit. And I feel like that's what you're doing this week. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it causes me a lot of anxiety, believe it or not, to do so. It's been 2.5 years since I took a vacation with my family or at all. Um, and now, let me say, I have been fortunate enough to sort of form my life where there is travel and a little bit of exploration in my work. So doing snake shows, there's a lot of travel. Consulting, I go to North Carolina and the East Coast fairly often. Um, Playing music, travel about and build in fun. So I sometimes feel like I've pulled off like what's the quote that Mark Twain said? Like if you make your vacation, your vocation, you'll never work, blah, 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 which is not true, I don't think. But I have pulled in pieces of really enjoying what I do. But as far as fully like step aside, check out, that's hard, man. That's really difficult for me to do. So I've had somebody that I was able to hire or help me out. They're watching the shop. They pulled eggs for me. I got eggs while I was gone. There was an issue at the car wash. They hooked that up, fixed it up, got that running. I literally handed the keys to the shop to somebody, and I was like, "I'll see you in 9 days." Um, so here we go. It's just what I had to do.
Is that the only way that you would feel comfortable doing this? Is a trusted person to take care of that stuff?
Oh, well, yeah, and I mean, somebody has to. I mean, the rodents literally would probably die or kill each other because you just have to top off their, like, they have to have food, and some of them have water bottles that have to be filled. Some of them are on pressurized water, but yeah, I would have to have somebody there. I could shut the car wash, but uh, it's kind of a long business, like, philosophical talk. But if I say I'm open and somebody wants to come and I'm closed, even if I explain that I'm closed, that invites them to go check out the alternatives and maybe to fall in love with the alternatives, right? So,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
be there. Um, and so it is a service that I want to keep up, and a service standard that I want to keep up. But the real answer is not like the logistics of how to do it. It's letting go and trusting somebody else. Like, you can't
Right.
really live. I've said this to myself a lot. If I want to be owned by my work, I can make a lot more money being owned by a private club or golf course or the PGA Tour. Like, it doesn't make sense to step back from what I had if I'm just going to have this new thing own me again. And so I have to be able to say, I've set the process and the systems in place. I've trained this other person. I've given them the knowledge. Now I have to give them the trust and go away for a little bit. So I'm trying it. It's hard.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. So, have you gotten to a point during this week where you have really, really just been able to relax, or is your mind still in at the shop?
No, I have been able to cut loose, man. There's a neat thing, the boat charges an extraordinary amount of money for connectivity, and I've not paid for it. I've got kind of today aligned where I have some connectivity and I can check some things from port. But by and large, man, it's been like one of those Corona commercials, man. They just put the phone under the chair to keep it from wobbling. Um, so checking out that way has been good. The other thing is man, I found some great books, and I've just been crushing these books. Like, I haven't read a full book in like a year and a half, man. Kelly and Charlie got me this really cool book called James by Percival Everett. Not this past Christmas, the Christmas before. It's been sitting on my shelf for 15 months. And so and I crushed it. It's done. I finished it. So I went to go get another book because I'm loving it. And they don't sell books on a boat anymore. Like, the crew like literally laughed at me. He's like, no, there's no books on this boat. So, but yesterday I found a bookstore and I bought two more books. And there's something, man, like winding down at night. I just like sitting on the balcony with the glass of wine, reading a book. And I forgot, like, if you don't have a screen in front of your face, like firing your synapses like crazy at, redlining your RPMs mentally, you can relax a little bit. And I'm really glad that I found that. I think one of the lessons is that I'm going to need to incorporate a little bit of a shut off time in the evenings, which has been really, really great for me to relax with.
Yeah, that was kind of that's one of my questions as well. It's like, so do you think that this is important for your business? Like, not just yourself, but is it important to take this time for your business? Is there a direct correlation to the effectiveness that you bring to your business?
Yeah, I have this, like, and it's from restaurants, and maybe it's from my DNA, but I have this thing where, like, if I'm not panicking, I'm not working hard enough, kind of deal. Like, if I'm not totally drowning, I'm not doing enough, kind of deal. And again, that's from restaurants. Like, if you're not in the weeds, you're not working. If you don't, you should take another table. If you're not like about to just lose it. And there needs to be a point where I say to myself, I'll be able to look back one day and go, Adam, you walked away for 9 days and everything was fine. Why don't you
Hmm.
go home? Why don't you have dinner with your family? Why don't you crack open a book Why don't you get 8 hours of sleep? And why don't you wake up in the morning and go crush it again in the right space? And
Yeah.
that sounds nice to say sitting on a pool deck. We'll see when I get back. I don't know. Maybe I'll get back and go, what the hell have I done? That was the dumbest thing I've ever done to walk away for so long. But I don't think it will be. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, there's something about, I think, our culture that really is drilled into our heads that that you need to work hard all the time. You need to work hard, and if you're not working hard, then you're not a good person. And
Right.
uh, I have some questions about that. I do have some questions about that because I think there's that what is it? There's something that you there's somebody who went out and asked, you know, I think you've even brought this up on the show. There's somebody who's went out and asked people who are retired, like what are their biggest regrets, and a lot of the regret is, oh, I spent too much time working. I spent too much
Yeah.
time, you know, nose to the grindstone type of thing. And so, yeah, there's this feeling that, and I think, and the more, so I'm in this capitalism class. That is, it's definitely something that is ingrained into the into industrialization. Is to make sure is to teach people that if you're not working, you're not a good person. And I think that's just for the people who actually own the factories, own the businesses, to actually make more money and get the most out of their workers. So there's kind of in its history that idea of constantly working and constantly feeling as though you need to work in order to be a good person. That's a part of, there's kind of a sinister element to its origins as well.
Yeah. And I have a layer of it too of, and I hinted at it a moment ago. If I walked away from something that was from uh, from a providing standpoint, if I walked away from something that provided everything I needed for my family, like I have this mental thing of like, I have to work until I exceed what that was to justify walking away from it. But I'm thinking that way from like what fits in a spreadsheet. So like to get right down to it, if I'm not exceeding the salary that I walked away from, there's a part of me that feels like I'm slacking and I'm being selfish. I've taken
Uh,
something from my family.
yeah.
Whereas it wasn't that problem. The problem was I was never there, and my son was 9 years old, and we hadn't watched a fireworks show together, or I had to pick either Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's Eve or figure out how to have his birthday off or whatever. Um, and I don't have those problems anymore. So you think about these really quantifiable things that fit on a spreadsheet. Oh, I was making this and I'm only doing this now. What am I dropping the ball on? Versus, hey, I'm at home and I could take, like, they would have laughed at me in any of my corporate jobs if I was like, "Hey, I need 9 days off in March to because because I got an important family
Right.
thing to do." They'd have
Right.
been like,
Yeah.
"Great, don't come back." They'd have been like, "Do you know what your position is and what you signed up for? That's not in the cards, Adam."
Yeah, which is completely ridiculous, actually. Like, and it's very, I think it's very American as well. I think you froze up, but I think it's very American. And yeah, and I think it does take time. It takes time away from what you have to realize the things that you do have sometimes. So it takes time. Oh, it takes, you know, if you build that into your life, and you can do it. And there are, like Adam just said, there are situations where you can't do that. If you're in a situation where you can't take the time that you need to get away, uh, then it's difficult to really know the kind of things that you have that are there that you take for granted. So yeah, I think it's really important. And if you don't have the opportunity to do that, then I don't know. That's not a really great situation. It's easy, I think, for us to talk like this because we've kind of been on this journey to create our lives the way that we want them to be, and it's
Right.
possible to do that kind of stuff. But it takes years. I think it takes years and years to try and get to a point where we both. I mean, I just left for 10 days to Pennsylvania, and it was great. I mean, it was fantastic. I loved it, but it took me a long time of working to get to a point where I could do something like that.
Yeah, and I should say too that like it does take a lot. Like I'm 46 and I've never like taken like this might other than my honeymoon, this might literally be the longest vacation I've ever taken. I'm not sure, but it did take time to get there. I'm not knocking anybody that's working hard. I'm not. I
Yeah, we may have lost you again. That's what you get for being in the British Virgin Islands. I think what he would say would be yeah, not knocking anybody who is working hard. You have to work hard, but you've got to that that working hard needs to pay off. I think it needs to pay off in such a way uh, where you can take the time like this and unplug a little bit. Yeah, are you back?
Joe, you nailed it. That was exactly right. While I have a medium connection, I'm going to say thank you to everybody. I'm going to say I'll be back to normal next week. I want to say thanks to everybody. Joe, you can take it away, and I am going to hang out. But if I disconnect, I will graciously exit the party if the Wi-Fi is a little too drunk. How about that?
That sounds good, but I like this. I like what you're saying, and it's good because we're talking about the thing that you're actually doing, and we're talking about the thing that I just did is getting away. Now, what I just did was I went and I helped my mom out for 10 days, and it was fun. It was really good, but I had the opportunity to do that, and the places where that I'm working for did understand that there were. I mean, that's the other thing too. Is like uh, if you're in a situation where the people that control your life don't understand that your life is yours and not theirs, then that's a problem. I think that's a real problem. But you know, I think some of the most successful people would disagree with that. Well, I mean, I wonder about that. Uh, like I've worked my whole life to try not to work so hard. Which is kind of a funny, strange way of putting it. But I have worked my whole life to get to a point where I'm not working so hard. Is that normal? Like, is that what we think is normal? Is this the point where we go, yeah, that maybe you're crazy, Joe. I don't know. That doesn't you should be working hard your whole life until you retire. I don't want to do that.
Well,
I did. That's not the thing that I want to do.
uh, getting a little bit personal, I've seen your home, I've seen your lifestyle. I'd say whatever you're doing is working pretty well, especially if you're happy and you don't feel like if you feel like you've improved how much you have to work for it. And that obviously is individual to every person. But and I'm sure we don't have time to get into it in this show, but the whole idea of working to a retirement, working and having savings and assets, and this like second chapter of life. That's all very modern and new. Like, somebody on the plains just trying to live and grow enough corn and have a cow that they could live off of.
Yeah.
That's a pretty foreign idea to them, and that wasn't historically very long ago. So, like, there's the other question of
No.
like, have we? Thank you, man. Thank you, Troy. Troy at Balls and Strikes. Troy, you gotta let us know where we could still keep up with your adventures. I don't have the specific details on the changes you've made recently, so I don't want to speak incorrectly. But let us know where we can still follow you. And I know that you do love cruising. Thank you for the little change in the jar there. So what I'm like ambling along saying is like, how fortunate are we to even be able to talk about like, oh, I don't want to overwork myself. I want to be able to save so that I can not work at all one day. Oh, this is a challenge to cut loose and get on a ship and zip around the Caribbean and the
Yeah,
anxiety
right.
that causes. You know what I mean? Like, part of
Yeah.
it's a little hard for me to even think through and process. The other part of it is how happy I am that my family can experience some of this, that my son can experience. I never experienced this at the age of 13. So, like, I want to give my son a better experience than I had. And to bring it all back, I hope I experience a new culture, man. I hope I experience something today that I've never experienced in my life. I don't know what it'll be. I had amazing jerk chicken from a neighborhood barrio food truck yesterday, and the day before, grilled pork from a dude with a pretty rudimentary grill, a stray dog and a rooster next to him in Dominican Republic. I want to experience that and ask him, what should I drink with this? What should I eat with this? How would you eat and drink this if you were on
Yeah.
vacation? That's what I wanna learn today.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a place of. I don't want to say privilege because that's definitely has some connotations to it, but it's definitely a place of that we have the ability to do this type of thing, uh, and like I feel it's like it makes me feel bad. Like sometimes, like it makes me feel bad the amount of fun I'm having. Like, is that weird? Like sometimes
It
I go, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I spend my days working. Like, why
Right.
can't I? Like sometimes but I feel bad for the amount of fun that I'm actually having.
You know, I think and this is an easy way out, but I think it's all relative. There's somebody so rich that will look at this and go, "Oh, what a hassle! The guy's eating the buffet, and he has the little
Right,
cabin."
right,
And
right.
there's other people that would go, um, you're caught up in paying a mortgage, you're caught up in running a business. What if you could just provide for yourself and enjoy the beauty around you and look at the ocean every day and never worry about
Yeah,
a
yeah,
401k or tax? That I saw some of that in the Dominican Republic as well, where it was like, this is what we have and it's beautiful. What more do you want in your, I hate to just throw a word like capitalist mind, but what more do you want in your go mind that you have? And so
yeah,
it's all at the end of the day, I can go nuts or I can go, am I trying the best that I can to live the best that I can? And I don't mean materialistically, I mean like as a person. Um, and then I'm really just enjoying living in the moment. I'm looking at a mountain right there. By the way, let's really make this really simple. I've never traveled to the Caribbean before. I'm used to like the Keys, South Florida, Southwest Florida. There are mountains on every one of these islands that go straight to the water, man. Like it's wild to look at. It's really cool. I knew that there were mountains in the Caribbean. I've heard of Jamaican coffee and that stuff. I didn't realize that like every one of these islands is just a mountainous thing. Because like say the Keys and Florida are not that way whatsoever. So I'm really just enjoying taking in every moment. It's really cliche to say like I'm just trying to like make time stand still and live in the moment, but like I walked through the Dominican Republic and then I came back to the cabin and I wrote an essay about it. I wrote an essay of my walk through Dominican Republic that day, or
you did.
through Puerto, yeah, through Puerto Plata, man. And it was really just a really cool experience, like down to just again, just having it wasn't that I was drinking and getting drunk, it was that I was drinking a local beer in the place it was made, strolling through the city, hearing the hum of the mopeds, and there's a danger to it, and not being surrounded by some tour guide telling me what I had to do or where I had to be or what I was going to do that day. I was just flowing with it, man. It was cool.
It that just reminded me of this of when Chelsea and I think we stopped in to it was on a cruise and we stopped into Belize, I think, and we got off uh, and we went to a bar and there was we were like, what beer should we have? And they said, well, this beer is for the men and this beer is for the ladies. So we were at the bar and I said, okay, well, I'll have the men's beer, I guess. And Chelsea said, I'll have the men's beer too. And the bartender said, well, this is the ladies' beer. And she said, I'm no lady.
Touche, man. Touche.
I love it. Yeah, but experiencing that, going different places, taking it all in, and really you being somebody different and stretching yourself in such a way where you are you're becoming somebody different and you're developing in a certain way simply by walking down the street, simply by taking in the local fare, simply by being around people who are different from you. It's something that I always say to my students when we're studying world religions. You learn more about yourself when you're around people who are different from you, or you learn more about yourself when you learn about people who are different from you. I mean, that's there's a part of this that I think is really helpful for your own business too. There's a direct correlation of the things that you're learning now on your free time that is going to affect the way that you do business, right? And so that's number one. The second thing is, and this has always been kind of a test for me, is that when I go away, when I do take a trip, how do I feel when I come back? Like, do I feel like I need an extra day before I go back to work to get ready for work? Do I feel
Right.
as though like is it worse when I go back, or do I feel more recharged after doing something like this? And usually, and I'm sorry to say this, but usually I feel worse going back to work after the longer the span of being away from work, the worse I feel going back to work, actually.
Yeah, the more tax you're going to pay. Yeah. I'm not even going to think about Monday morning emails and, snake poo and rodent droppings. It's that's away for right now, and it'll be there for me when I get back. Joe,
we'll have to debrief.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
We'll have to debrief next week. Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. How do you get back in it and like jump back into the pool? I'm gonna go find this bakery and a coffee. It is 8:25 here, local time. I think it's time to go experience a little culture, man. Go find some adventure, unknown adventure. I have no idea what I'm getting into. I'll go find it though.
Well, thanks everybody for stopping by, for doing this every Thursday morning. We're here every Thursday morning. Come on and check us out. If you're just re-listening over the week, thanks to everybody in the chat who contributes. You're great. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
That's right. Adios.